Have you ever had a player in Football Manager 24 where he came through your youth academy or you bought him from a cheap league and had 5-star or 4-star potential, but really you find it hard for him to reach that potential? I mean, me too. I always have it. In this video, I'm going to show you several ways you can actually help them reach that potential. Let's go. Method I'm going to talk about here, guys, is loan system. Quite ironic, I know I'm using Chelsea, but trust me, in Football Manager it's OP. If you want to develop your players and you can't give them game time, the easiest solution is to loan them out. If you have an affiliate, use your affiliates, or choose clubs that have good training facilities, whereby then they can develop properly, and make sure the teams you're learning them to plays a similar tactic or style to you, to make sure they fully develop properly. But make sure you're giving them not squad player. Try and give them regular important star, especially if you're going for goalkeepers. Make sure the first team players, because goalkeepers don't really develop if you put him on the bench. Another option you could use is a loan manager. He would basically do everything I just said for you, in terms of sorting out loans, making sure the financial aspect of it is fine. If you're a small club, you probably do need the money from the loans, and you would find the best team possible to loan him to, or overall just loan players that you don't know who to loan. Like in this example, I'm employing David Woodfine, but yeah, as per ChatGPT here, you could just read it through, skim through it. Essentially, he does a job for you as a loan manager. He loans players that you have potential, like they have potential to be star players for the clubs. Obviously, the second method is pretty, I think, self-explanatory. Training is everything. You know how footballers say, training is very important in football. Repetition. As for a striker, always finish. You do finishing. But in this instance here, try to use units to include youth players in units, to make sure they're training with first team members. Or what you could do is just go on, double click on squad, move into the first team, then make them available for under 21s, under 18s. That also works the same way. Does the same thing. Just make sure that those wonder kids, you could say, trains in the best possible facilities, but also trains with good players. You could also use mentoring. Mentoring doesn't really help develop players in terms of their stats, but does help them with the personality. If you have a balanced personality like Angelo here, you can see if you put a group with ambitious, fairly determined, his influence would, these players will influence his character, which could make him resolute, professional, etc., which could have an impact on his stats and his progress in later on in his career. Maybe not now, but I think it's 24 that players stop, doesn't have an impact from mentoring. Another thing you could do is sign players through individual roles, focus. You could get your assistant to do that for you, so you don't have to do it yourself because it's quite long. Then you would double click, make sure your players are training on double intensity to make sure that they're training hard, to get those stats up on their players. That's again, it comes with a risk though, like your players could get injury, especially if you're playing gegenpress and all that stuff. You do risk of getting more injuries, but your players do grow quicker. Another thing you could do is praise and criticize your players. Again, you would go on the training tab, training rating. You could see here Leslie, I can't spell that surname, sorry, Ungochuk, no. You would just praise him. This just makes them more motivated, and you build a relationship with you and the players. This could also help boost stats. It does. When I've done it myself, it actually does help boost stats. Third option here is pretty simple. Facilities. Make sure you guys have the best facilities. Obviously, depending on what club you are, how much money you have, you'd go on make a board request. Improve the coaching budget. That helps you with your youth coaching. Obviously, again, it's like a hidden trick, really. Improving your facilities. Make sure you do. It does really help make an impact, especially youth coaching. Make sure all your players coming from youth academy, whether it's existing or up and coming, they have the best potential, best base stats. And the last method here is going to be game time. Again, pretty basic. You can see I'm using an example of Romeo Lavia. I played him 25 games all season out of 38. Did develop quite well, I must say. But make sure if you can't play them, again, loan them now. Use a loan system. Easiest way to make sure your players are developed if you can't give them game time. Anyways, guys, hopefully you find these tips useful. Please use them. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my video at the end, my 2 new videos I made. Thanks for watching. Peace.